Hello and welcome to everyone in today's tutorial on how to begin the data entry process for School Data Entry Operator. So in today's tutorial, we shall be learning the data entry process for entering school information of your designated school. To begin, open your preferred browser, which in this case is Mozilla Firefox, but you can also choose Google Chrome. So I'll be moving towards my preferred browser and open it. Once it opens, you can enter the website of the EMMIS application in the URL section of the browser, that is emmis.sikkimedutech.in. Click on search. Once you click on search, a landing page of the web portal of EMMIS shall open up, as you can see on the screen. In the topmost bar, you will find 4 menus, which are basically Home, School, GIS, and Login. Alongside, you will also find the badging of EMMIS, that is Education Management and Monitoring System, and the Get Started menu. And under that, you will find the information of EMMIS application and further stats on users, students, and schools registered into the portal. We will be directly moving on with the login process. So once you click on login, a login screen or the login page will open up, wherein you will be able to enter your school data operator email, that is the username and the password. Your username is the registered email address in the EMMIS application, whereas the password you will be entering here can be found in the confirmation email that was sent to your registered email address during the verification process. Enter the username, and once that's done, you will be required to enter the CAPTCHA. Enter the CAPTCHA code without any spaces in between. Once you do that, you can click on sign in, but before you sign in, if you haven't registered your school into the EMMIS application, you can view the previous tutorial, that is Part 1 tutorial on registering school, or you can go through the manual for getting started. Considering you've already registered your school, we'll be directly signing in. Once you sign in, you will be redirected to the school page. Here, I have Test School Sikkim for demonstrating purposes, since we are here for the tutorial process. In your case, it will be the name of your school that you've registered into the EMMIS portal. Now in the top right corner, we will be able to see our name or role, that is School Operator, and below that you also have a slight information about who has logged in or who is currently logged in, which in this case is me, the School Operator. Under that, I will view my data entry overview, wherein I'll have my school information and various other information module. In today's tutorial, we are concerned with the data entry process involved in the first module, that is the school information. Below the information module, we have employee details, student details, school staff strength overview, infrastructure details, school attendance, and many more. There is also the user manual and documentation at the end section. To begin with, we can directly move with the school information module. In order to configure the data entry process, head towards the school information below the dashboard. A click on it expands the root option with a number of modules: basic details, contact details, location details, class details, academic sessions, language, SMC, MDM, CBSE-related details, club details, and many more. Amongst all of these modules, you will be able to see a red badging out here, which means that the data has not been configured. As you can also see out here, that we are being shown 0%, which means that the data has not been configured for school information as of now. You will also have 0% for each and every module, and so on. Therefore, you are required to select the option to begin the data entry process. Again, red badging out here usually means your data has not been configured or entered. First of all, out of all these modules, one of the most important modules that is required to be managed are entered at the beginning of the school data entry process is the academic session, as you can also see a notification which says no academic session configured for the present date. So we are required to enter the academic session details at the beginning of any data entry process. To do so, head to school and under that, the academic session, and click on it. Once you click on it, you will see all the details of the academic session if it has been configured, but since it hasn't been configured for this demo, that is Test School Sikkim, therefore I will click here to add new academic session on this link. It opens up a link where there are fields that are required to be entered. Enter the academic session name, data, and end date. For Test School Sikkim, I'm entering academic session 2022 as the academic session name. Start date in most schools would generally commence on 14th February 2022, but for Test School, I will place 4th Jan as the start date and the end date for Test School could be December 31st. This is just an example overview, so do not enter these dates if they do not match with the start and end date of your respective schools. If you have trouble finding these dates, refer to your respective school academic calendar. After you enter the details, you can click on Save. As soon as you click on Save, you can see a message out here that says School Session Details Saved. Alongside here, we can see that the red badge has converted to green. Now green means that the details has been verified. There are some details that do not require verification because they are primary details. So the school admin who is in charge of verification is not required to verify them. However, many other details including basic details, contact details, location, and many other details will require the verification of the school admin. So again, we are not required to have the academic session verified. So move to the dashboard, and as we move towards it, we still have 0% configured here. Therefore, move to the class details section. This section is the second most important following the academic session details, and users of this portal are required to enter the details in this section. Here, you will be able to find all the records of your classes, but since no classes has been added at the start, so you need to enter them. Select the Add New Class or the plus symbol New Class. Click to enter the details of all the classes. Since Test School Sikkim here is a secondary school, so I will be entering the details from LKG. There is no section or stream in Test School's LKG grade, so I'll directly click on Save and then following it up with UKG. Since nursery is currently not in Test School Sikkim, so we are not considering nursery as of now. I will be going through each and every class as you can see. 1. So if sections are available in your school, you can click on section and add a section out here. But if it is not available, you can just leave it blank without entering any section. Similarly, I'll be entering all the classes in the portal because these classes are generic and applicable to all the users, so we are required to enter all these details at the beginning of a data entry process. Class 6, adding class 5, Class 6 has already been added, so it shows error message, so I can move on with Class 7 since you can see that Class 6 has already been added and the same data cannot be added, so the message was displayed out there. Moving on with Class 8. So if sections are applicable, you can enter the sections like A, B, C. If not applicable, you can just leave it blank and click on Save. So as you can see, we have entered all the classes from pre-primary, primary to upper primary to secondary. As mentioned earlier, since Test School Sikkim is secondary, we have configured all the details As you can see, the class details section is also a primary field. Hence, no verification is required for this section as well. Now we have configured these two modules, the academic session and the class details section. If we move to the dashboard, you will see that 16% of the information has been configured, which is part of the class details and the data entry process. Now, we will be moving from the top to the bottom of the module in school information, beginning with basic details. Click on basic details, and here you will be able to upload your school photo. Many information will be pre-configured during the registration process, so the same shall be applicable here. Right here, you can enter your UDISC code, management, select category, what sort of category your school falls into. Since test school Sikkim's category is secondary school, so I can choose 1 to 10 here in this category. After filling in the establishment here, you can enter type of school, whether boys, co-educational or girls. We are selecting co-ed for test school Sikkim here. Lowest class is basically LKG and the highest class is class 10. The same does not necessarily apply in your case. If your school falls under Cluster Resource Center, you can select yes. If not, you can select no. Cluster Resource Center is basically a unit where some sorts of schools identified by the department to help any other primary level schools or junior level schools in a particular area. So if your school is a Cluster Resource Center, which is also known as CRC unit, you can select yes. If not, you can leave it as it is. If your school falls under the residential type school, you can click on yes. If not, you can leave it as it is. Same goes for minority managed schools. If your school is applicable for child with special needs, you can click on yes. If not, you can leave it as no. If pre-primary attached, since LKG and UKG is attached to test school Sikkim, so I will click on yes. Here, in the other section, we have secondary section affiliation, and it asks for the board. Since test school is under the CBSE board, I can give the affiliation number. This is just for demo use. So I will be entering some value out there. Affiliation year, which would be 2017, valid till 2025. After this, what we have is higher secondary session affiliation. Test school doesn't have that, as it is not a higher secondary school, so I'll skip this section as of now. After leaving this section, you can enter the details of school upgradation. If you have the details and the year of upgradation of all your schools from upper primary to secondary to higher secondary, you can provide those details. If not applicable, you can leave as it is. So we have two details out here. Therefore, I will enter them. Primary to upper primary was during 2015. Test school moved from primary to upper primary in 2015, so that number is given out here, and secondary was in 2017, so that detail is entered. Other details section. In other details section, applicable for CBSE school, so the details entered are as follows. If your school is not under the CBSE board, if it is under the CISCE or any other boards, you can just leave the section as well. So entering the society or trust name, Society A. Provide the registration date as the value I give out here, July 14th for demonstration purposes. School registration number, Society A, as you can see for test school. Any value registration value, 2025, let's just give it a number. Inspire Award application number, if applicable, so it is not applicable for test school, therefore I can leave it as it is. Examination center number, I can give any value for demonstrating. It's taught by mother language and primary or no. So at primary level, the medium of language for teaching is the mother language, then you can click on yes. If no, leave it as it is. Offer pre-vocational courses. So if pre-vocational courses are offered, you can click on yes. Similarly, it goes for educational vocational counseling and is Anganwadi Center present. After entering all these details, as you can see on the screen, we can click on save. Some of the details here are the data field, which is marked by this red asterisk. Usually means that these data fields are primary and are required to be configured. Until and unless we don't configure this, that is our data field, we are not eligible to move ahead with the data entry process. So since the fields which we have left that are not applicable are not primary, we can leave that. But however, all primary fields are required to be configured while going through the data entry process. Once again, fields marked star are mandatory, so once you've entered all those details, you can click on Save. Once saved, School Basic Details has been saved, confirms it. Alongside, you can see that the badging or basic details has been changed to yellow. Earlier, we saw three types of badging. One is red, the other yellow, and one is green. Red means data has not been configured. Yellow means data has been configured but has not been verified. Since the records of each and every school can only be verified by the school admin when he logs into the portal, after the verification, the badging shall convert to green itself, like we saw for the school details, class details, and academic session. Once we are through with that, we also get to find the details of the school users who has initiated the verification process for that particular data module. All those sorts of details will now be mentioned as we move to the dashboard where 25% has been configured. Now similarly, moving on with contact details, where you can add the details of your school's contact information. If the school head's landline is applicable, you can give that. If not applicable, you can leave it as it is. So the number of test scores, school head. School contact number. If there is any contact number of the concerned school, provide that. School email. You can provide the school email itself. Here are some values so you can understand the process. Since there is no fax in test school, which is being considered for a fax machine facility installation, I'm selecting no. You can choose no too if your school has no fax machine facility. Else, choose the reverse. School website. Enter the link to your school website. Respondent name. Respondent name is the person who is actually responsible for filling up the forms. So enter the name of the respondent or the names of the HMs, school heads, or any data entry operator. For test school, I'll just give a name. Mobile number. Respondent landline number. Respondent email. You can provide the respondent email and save when you're done. On saving, the details are configured and you will see that the badging of the contact details has also changed to yellow. If you want to check your progress, you can move to the dashboard and you will see that 33% of the module of the data entry process has been configured. Moving below the contact details, the location details as per se, you'll be able to enter the details of the location of your respective school, so West District. You'll be able to choose the subdivision for your school. I am configuring for Beijing. Provide the block details Beijing for test school and select the location Rural for test school. Cluster Resource Center. If any school is Cluster Resource Center, you can provide the details as it's specified here. If your school is not a Cluster Resource Center, you can leave it as it is. GPU ward number. You can provide the GPU ward number as I'm providing for test school, Beijing. In your case, it can be any name of your school's location or the name of your place where the school is located. GPU ward number 26. This is just for exemplifying that we are entering urban municipal ward number. We shall be leaving this field as of now. Habitation name. Habitation name will be the rural area Beijing. Mohalla urban unit for planning. You can give that value if it is applicable. Community development block, Mandal, Taluka. If these values are applicable to your school, you can provide that. If not applicable, you can just leave it. Landmark, you can give any value as entered here. For example, A, B, C. School area, whether it is remote, urban, or rural. Since test school is situated in a rural setting, so I'll enter in rural. City name, provide the name of the city, gauging itself for test school. Pin code, give any value that's relevant to this requirement. Post office, for test school, I'll go with gauging PS. Similarly, for assembly constituency, parliamentary constituency, I'll go with gauging Sikkim parliamentary. Latitude, longitude, if you can get these values from the school GIS, enter them. I'm leaving it blank for test school since it's a fictitious school. The other details which you are required to enter are basically distance of the school in kilometers from the nearest government-aided school, for example 2.4. You are required to enter some values, integers, without any alphabets. Primary school section, what is the distance? I'll go with 0.8 in kilometers, that is 800 meters. For primary school, upper section, that would be 0.2 or 200 meters. Secondary section could be basically 0.6. Now since for GIS, we can provide the details as 0.6 as well. So we also have other location details like block office name, for which I'll go with Gazing block office. Distance from Gazing block office could be 0.9 for test school. District office name Gazing DAC, we give it 1.6. Nearest nationalized bank, that would be SBI billing or the Gazing branch. Distance from bank could be 2 kilometers, nearest bus station. So similarly, you can give all these values in the section pertaining to the data connected to your own school. I will be adding all these values as gauging, so it is simple to configure. Once again, any details that is applicable to your school should be entered and not necessarily the details that I have provided for the demonstration purposes. Continuing with school approachable by all weather roads? If yes, you can give it as yes. If not, you can give it as no. Test school falls under rural schools, so it is not accessible by this criteria, so no for this field. Distance from all weather roads could be 0.2 kilometers. So once you enter all these details, as you can see in this demo, click on Save. You can see that the location details has been configured and a yellow badging has appeared on the status bar of the module. Shift to the dashboard and you'll see that 41% of the information module has been configured. Moving on with language details, under the language details, enter the medium of instruction in the school. What sort of languages are used as the medium of instruction? At test school, the medium of instruction is basically English, and medium 2 would be Nepali, so that's all. And similarly, if there is medium 3, you can enter that followed by medium 4. You can enter that too. If not, you can leave it as it is. Moving on to language taught as a subject, mention up to 3 languages below. So what type of languages are taught in your school? Test school has Nepali, English, and Hindi as language options. After entering these details, click on Save. As soon as you click on Save, your data is configured and a yellow badging will appear as with the earlier processes. Now we will configure the SMC details. SMC stands for School Management Committee. Respond to the following questions. whether the school management committee has been constituted or not. The SMC has been configured at test school, so we can enter the details of SMC here. If your school has some form of school management committee, you can enter the details as well. Test school's SMC is managed by Mr. ABC. Chairperson address would be Beijing. Chairperson mobile number, provide a 10-digit number here. If your 10-digit is not configured, it sends a message. SMC year formation, you can give it as 19, whether the school has developed school development plan or not. If yes, you can click on yes. If no, you can click on no. I'll be entering yes for test school. Number of meetings held in the last academic year, self-explanatory as it is. So how many times the meetings were held in the past year? 3 for test school. Enter the bank details, branch account number, holder's name, and IFSC code of your bank. Then save. The details are configured as you can see on the screen. If you want to add members to your SMC group, SMC committee, you can do that by clicking on New Member. Enter the name of the member like you see Mr. Member here for a demo. Member address, member's mobile number, email address if applicable, gender male, category could be general for demo, member type it could be representatives, teachers and parents, so I will be selecting representatives, SMC committee, academic or weather building, so if building you can choose building, if academic you can choose academic, valid till year 2023, post held, representative, or you can give any designation or post held, provided training. If applicable, you can click on yes. If not, you can leave it as it is. Save once doing all of these to add your details into the system. So similarly, you can add other members as well in the group if applicable. After adding them, you'll see that the SMC details have not been verified. You can verify the details or the school admin will verify them. After the SMC details, what we have is MDM details. So if your school is applicable for MDM, that is midday meal, you can configure the details. For example, if some private school don't have MDM, you can leave this section as it is, which won't be counted in your information module. Moving on to the fields. Whether the school has kitchen garden or not. So if applicable, you can click on yes. Whether school has kitchen store or not. Yes. Kitchen store year of construction, 2018 for test school. Whether kitchen store needs repair. No. If applicable, you can click on yes. It is no for test school. Type of kitchen. School kitchen and self-help group. Cluster kitchen. So I'll be selecting school kitchen. Mode of cooking. Firewood. Gas, kerosene stove, or any other, so gas for test school. MDM in charge name, Mrs. ABC. In charge number, give the phone number of the in charge. Cooking agency, enter the specific detail out here. Whether the school has required cooking materials, utensils, yes it has for test school. Whether school has dining hall, since dining hall is not applicable for test school, I'll be clicking on no. If it is applicable, you can click on yes. Further fields. Is water connection available? Yes, it is available. So I'll be clicking on yes. Is meal prepared in school? If yes, you can click on yes. If no, you can click on no. So it is prepared at test school. Is kitchen cum store sanctioned? So it is not sanctioned for test school, so I'll be clicking on no. Is utensil available for cooking and serving? year of procurement, when were the utensils procured, you can enter the details. Is utensils available for eating? If it is available for eating, you can click on yes. When or by whom the utensils were first purchased? By the community. Give those details. Is weighing machine available? Since it is not available, I will be clicking on no. Is height measurement tool available? No, so I will be clicking on no. Mode of receiving funds, it is through the bank, so I'll be giving the details of the bank. SBI gauging, branch name gauging, additional details include account holder name and then the IFSC code. After entering the details, click on Save, but be sure to verify and analyze it once more. After the details are saved, it will be entered into the system, and the school admin will be able to verify the records. As you can see here, we have the MDM details as yellow batching. Move to the dashboard, and you'll see that 66% has been configured. So we will be quickly configuring these 3 modules as well. Safety and travel details. Let's begin with this. Number of bus owned. You need to configure these details only if your school owns buses. Since buses are not owned in the demo school, that is, test school, so we can leave the section as of now. Number of bus hired. Number of vans, matadors. Number of drivers. These do not apply in test schools, so these details won't be entered. Safety details. Does school have guards employed for school safety? So if yes, you can click on yes. Does school have sprinklers? Yes. Number of fire extinguishers? 5. Whether structural safety audit conducted? No. Whether non-structural safety audit conducted? No. Whether CCTV installed? If applicable, you can click on yes. It is no for me. Does school have nodal teacher for safety? Does school undergo safety training? If training was given, so I will be clicking on yes. Whether disaster management is taught as part of the curriculum? Yes. Number of activity rooms? 2. Has received grant for self-defense for girls? No. Number of students provided training? No. Whether the school displays safety guidelines on display board? Yes. Whether teachers have received grant for working as first-level counselors? It is not provisioned currently at test school, so I'll be clicking on Save after configuring all the details. Once all these details are configured, a message will appear on the top right-hand screen and a badging will change. Now moving to CBSE-related vital details. Once there, you can enter all these details. Number of wellness teacher activities asks how many wellness teachers are there, so enter those details. I'll be going with 3 for test school. Name of grievance complaint redressal officer. It will be the HM headmaster or principal's name. Grievance complaint. You can write the principal's name out here. Grievance complaint redressal officer contact number. You can provide the contact number of the principal. Grievance redressal officer email. You can provide the email. Name of head of sexual harassment committee. If applicable, you can give the details. Contact number of sexual harassment committee. Similar to providing the name of the emergency contact person, you can provide the contact number of the sexual harassment committee. Email number of emergency contact person. Contact number of doctors and school clinic. If applicable, you can provide the details. Number of nurses in school clinic. Number of beds. School involvement in CBSE. All these details, if applicable, can be configured. Additionally, do teachers get proper grade like PGT, TGT as per the classes they are entitled to teach? Yes. Do teachers and staff get the salary within the first week of the month? If applicable, you can click on yes. Does the school have EPF facility for the staff? If yes, you can click on yes. If no, you can click on no. Mode of salary payment, write the details. I'll be selecting bank. Name of bank with salary account. I'll go with SBS. Are school accounts audited regularly? Enter all these details. Parent-teacher association formed as per norms. Availability of staff with knowledge of software scanning, geotagging, internet. Whether school has NCC. Whether school has NSS. Whether school has legal literary program. Number of entity. nursery trained teacher. You can provide the details. I'll select 2 for test school. After completing all these field details for vital details section CBSE related, I can click on save to configure them and send for verification. What we are now left with is the club details, as you can see in the school information module. If you move to the dashboard, 83% of the data has been configured, so the last details that we will be entering are the club details. If your school has any sort of club, you can click on Has Club. If your school does not have a club, does not have club. Test school does have a club, so I'll be selecting Has Club and a new club option to enter the details. Club name could be Rotary Club, club type could be Eco Club, year formation 2020, number of activities conducted in the previous year 2, number of member boys 25, bank name SBI Beijing, branch name Beijing, account number, account holder's name. You can provide the details and IFSC code. And then enter the name of the member. Member A for test school, gender, male, mobile number, email if applicable, post held, president. Add more member if required by selecting the add option. Similarly, if you want to delete, use the delete option. After filling in these details for club, you can click on save. Once saved, it shows that school club details has been saved, and as we can see, the yellow badging has appeared. Now we have configured all the details for the school information module, so all these details that we have entered has been saved into our databases and has been sent to the designated school admin of the school for verification. Once verified by the school admin, all this badging of the yellow status, which we can see right now, will be changed to green, as we can see for class details and academic session. So that is how it can be configured. Now, as we move to the dashboard, we will be able to see that 91% of the details has been configured. Why 91% when we've entered all the details? 91% because vocational details is also added to the school module. Once we add the vocational details, our 91% would be 100%. Vocational details, photo albums and session-related details are combined for one module in a single upcoming tutorial. So in today's tutorial, we were only concerned with the school information module. However, in the coming tutorials, we shall be moving on with the infrastructure modules, session information module, and similarly, vocational details, photo albums, employee management, student registration, and many other topics shall be covered. So thank you so much for being with us. See you in the next tutorial video. Bye-bye.